Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. This thing opened at 6, and I hate myself for not taking the 6 on the Panthers. It's down to 4.5 now in favor of the Falcons. 41.5 is your total. Steven, if we take a look at this one, I understand. I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination the Carolina Panthers are good. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying here is that the Falcons secondary is an absolute complete mess. Down Casey Hayward, Jalen Hawkins, A.J. Terrell. Further, they get no pressure on the quarterback at all, which was part of our handicap last week of betting Cincinnati against this squad. And so now we look, and if P.J. Walker is just going to be able to sit there all day long and throw against, by the way, XFL level cornerbacks, because that's what's going to be playing for the Falcons in this game. It's a Panthers or pass for me. No way I'm laying it with the Falcons. Even at the 4, it'd still be either Panthers or pass for me in this thing. I cannot imagine myself betting this version of the Falcons. They don't even want to pass the ball. Marcus Mariota, we talk about how much the Bears run. The Falcons run just as much. Like, they don't want to trust Marcus Mariota for anything. And so I think this is a pretty interesting spot for the Panthers to even win this thing outright.
Yeah, I think they are live. And to your point, they have been bottom of the list in pass rate over expectation, the Atlanta Falcons, and it's flatlined for 4 straight weeks. Like, it's been consistently at the bottom of that list for 4 straight weeks. They want to run it more than anybody. And they are 9th and 6th in rush EPA and success rate. That's how they move the ball. But Carolina's defense is 4th and 11th in rush EPA and success rate defense. And it's been just as strong if you look more recently in the past 3 weeks. On top of that, the Falcons are slow. They do not operate a fast-paced offense. 25th in situation neutral. They are bottom 2 in the league in pace when they're leading by 7+ points or trailing by 7+ points. So they don't care. They're just going to operate at this slow pace. So that's generally not a formula I'm looking for to back a team to cover a 4-point spread as a favorite. So you add in the significant injuries in the secondary, Matt, and pair that with a front 7 that was already dead last in the league in pressure rate. This is kind of like trying to thread a needle here, it seems, for Atlanta to cover this spread. So all that being said, with the situation we see in the AFC South with the Bucs now 3-5, like, hat tip to Adam for pinpointing Atlanta division futures. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. They are still plus 340 to win this division. I still think they're more likely than not to win this game. And if they do, then I think that number is going to plummet a little bit.
Adam, we take a look at this and we talk about teasers not really working out so far this year. I am never against a non-traditional teaser. If you were able to take this 4.5 up to 10.5 and get this on the other side of 7 and 10, if you tell me the Falcons win this game by 11, I would be flat out shocked. I mean, with this defense, they're not able to stop anybody. And this Carolina defense, we can say what we want to about the offensive side of the ball. Trade away McCaffrey, trade away Robbie Anderson. I get all that. PJ Walker's going to be starting at quarterback, but the defense has shown up at least, more times than not so far this season for them. And actually, as far as the success rate metric goes, they're one of the better defenses, top 12, top 3rd defense in the league. And I think they could keep this thing within double digits for sure. So if the 4 made you squeamish and you wanted to play the non-traditional teaser leg, I think I'd be okay with that as well.
I've seen a lot of the Carolina Panthers this year before last week, and there's a reason that the Carolina Panthers were 13-point dogs against Tampa Bay, and it wasn't all the priors that we had on Tampa. So is that the right play if you're going to play this game, Matt? Yeah, I believe so. I think you're right about where the total is if you want to play that at double digits. That being said, we got on this podcast last week and talked about how P.J. Walker had done nothing but throw to the flats. So maybe they were just easing him in. Maybe it was a matter of not having enough time to get him acclimated. I'm perfectly willing to go there. Let's talk about that division future that I mentioned 2 weeks ago. Said the Atlanta Falcons plus 650 to win the NFC South at the time. And this is where I get to yell for just a moment about Nevada sportsbooks. I have more than a half dozen apps on my phone. Do you know how many offered division futures at that point of the season? 0. None of them. There was no way to place that wager in the state of Nevada. And now, Steven, I'm glad you're still seeing the plus 340 because I'm looking at a book from across the country and seeing plus 220 on the Atlanta Falcons. So right now, the only way I want to get involved with the Falcons is with that. I'll pass on this game.
Yeah, PJ Walker, they did a lot. They cut him loose last week. Like they let him throw down the field a little bit. I don't know why, I don't know what it was about, everything. But I mean, if you look for him, he did, he had a 20-yard down the field completion, a 21-yard down the field, 29-yard down the field completion, different things like that. So I mean, they let him chuck it a little bit. And I think that maybe YOLO football should be in play for the Falcons for the Panthers moving forward. You should definitely be doing that. And if he throws a bunch of picks, then so be it, because you want one of those top picks, trust me.